Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of the Game Groofs podcast, the all-encompassing weekly gaming podcast from the Goodnight Groofs. Those guys you hear laughing, I'll introduce them here in a second. Before we begin, I have a quick announcement, all right? We're going to have our first ever GG Replay live for Gamescom 2021 opening night live on August 25th. Come watch and react to the show with us. Our pre-show is going to start at 1:15 p.m. Eastern. The official pre-show for opening night live starts at 1:30, so we're going to be there 15 minutes before that, just to hang out and chit-chat about stuff. You can find that at twitch.tv/goodnightgroofs. You can also find the link to that on our website at goodnightgroofs.com. Give us a follow, and you'll be alerted when we go live. The VOD is also going to be uploaded to YouTube following the event, so if you can't catch it live, no worries. You can catch the VOD.
I just want to quickly, are we better, who do you think's better friends with Hideo Kojima? Us or Jeff Keighley?
You know, I got to give it to Jeff. It's probably him, but it's close. It's close.
He seems close. We're more friends with Hassan Karaman.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also Hideo Kojima.
Oh, we could only hope.
My name is Matt, and these guys who have already begun speaking are Paul, Mike, and Josh.
Hi.
I was going to say, Josh hasn't said anything.
I was busy wrangling my damn cat behind me who was attacking something on my back. I don't know what.
It was probably you.
Basically.
Let's move right into the peak of the week, guys. Instead of just asking you how you're doing this week, I want to ask everyone what their peak of the week has been. What's the best thing that happened to you this week, Josh? We'll go with you first.
Oh, God. So this is technically Saturday, but you know what? We're going on the Game Groofs week here. Gonna go with the community night over at twitch.tv/jcoopery. That was fun. It was a good time. We had a good hangout with friends. Just a shameless self-plug here on the podcast.
No, it's totally fair. I plugged Goodnight Groofs about 30 times throughout your community stream. So
I dropped in for like 5 minutes at one point because I was doing something and I just wanted to check some of it. And I watched some, and all I could see was everyone giving Matt shit about every answer being GG Replay Patreon or Google Goodnight Groofs Patreon.
It was so good.
Mike, what was the peak of your week?
God, that's a interesting question.
It happens every week, so
every single week. I would have to say I placed third in my golf tournament this weekend, so that was pretty nice.
Very nice.
Got a trophy. It was cool.
Unfortunately, it was out of 3 players.
It's actually got 2 in a freak incident. He somehow came third.
No, but congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it a 9-hole or a full 18-hole course?
It was 36. It was
Holy shit.
Oh, but
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was an intense tournament.
How long have you been golfing?
Since like 6th grade, so
Damn.
a while.
Nice.
I'm not good, so.
Mike, right. do you think my disc golf skills will transfer?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
Bummer. Gotta go back to 6th grade, I guess.
I've tried disc golf and my skills don't transfer, so I assume they don't go the other way.
That voice there was Paul. Paul, tell us, what was your peak of the week?
Yeah, my voice is everywhere today. My peak of the week, I'm blindsided by this, Matt. I had no idea you would ever ask such a question.
Wow.
My peak of the week is gaming related. I finally got to play Hades this week. I've been sitting hotly in anticipation for, about a year, but also the last couple months since I've known it's going on Game Pass. I'll talk about it more around the Watercooler later in the show when we have a little break, but needless to say, I had a really, really great time, and I'm excited to get back to it.
Perfect. I can't wait to hear about it.
Matt, how was your week? What's your peak of the week?
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. My peak of the week was probably just the growth that we've had for GG Replay over the last 2 weeks, really, but a lot in this past week. Let's make it happen for this show. All right, Game Groofs needs to get the little GG Replay bump. All right.
I noticed that our last YouTube video, actually, for our Blue Box at Blue Balls Game Studios, actually has in only like I think 3 or 4 days has already gotten 50 views, which is pretty good. It's getting to our top of our rank. A lot of our Hassan Blue Box themed stuff actually is getting a lot of views.
Number one source for Blue Box and the Hassan Karaman news. Yeah. Find it here on Goodnight Groofs.
We're the Jeff Keighley to his Hideo Kojima.
Yes, perfect. Let's move on to trending topics. In trending topics, I'm going to give our panelists a choice between 3 search terms. They have to tell me which term they think got the most searches over the last 7 days via stats from Google Trends. We'll play 3 quick rounds. First round, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Pokemon Shining Pearl, or Pokemon Legends Arceus. Is it Arceus or Arceus?
I say
Arceus.
It's Arceus. Okay, Pokemon Legends Arceus.
They confirmed it because they said it on the direct.
Okay.
That's about as good a source as you can get.
Yeah.
I'll say Legends Arceus.
Yeah, I'll say Legends.
I have no frame of reference for this shit because I know nothing about Pokemon. So we're going with Legends of Arceus.
It was Legends Arceus, all right? Brilliant Diamond was number 2, not too far behind, and then Shining Pearl was last place.
That makes sense.
Round 2, Intel, NVIDIA, or AMD?
Oh,
why would any of these be searched?
So I mean, they're all searched for people looking for graphics cards, but I think Matt was kind of going maybe because Intel has all that ARC news about new graphics cards that they're going to start launching in next year.
See,
that maybe
this is the news that I don't know about.
This is stuff on the replay. So yeah, you gotta listen to the replay.
Gotta
Mike.
listen to the replay.
We're being called out, Mike.
I'm sorry, I didn't listen to which one was it?
Is that last one
Yesterday's,
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the latest.
How dare you? Anyways,
I listened to the Call of Duty one today. I'm sorry.
It wasn't as good. Yesterday's was one of our second longest, and also I think one of our best replays. So if anyone out there gives a shit, go listen to that.
I'm going with NVIDIA just off name brand alone, but it probably is Intel.
I think I'm going NVIDIA too. Like as popular as Intel is right now, like as popular as news is, people are constantly searching to see if they can get an NVIDIA graphics card.
We'll go with Intel, just be different.
It was AMD.
It was AMD.
Yeah, and this wasn't particularly close, I don't think.
It's a stock that gets followed a lot too. So there's a lot of people searching AMD for that purpose too. It's a really volatile stock. So
yep, that makes sense.
And the final one. Winter, spring, or summer?
Winter.
Spring.
Summer.
Hey.
That's a good point though, because it's summer right now. I was just thinking maybe people are like, wow, I'm sick of this hot bullshit. When is winter? And just don't even think about fall being a thing, but
I was thinking how spring is also a word. So you might just search spring in a different manner.
That's interesting because I specifically didn't pick fall because it's a word, right? And so I did search all 4 seasons, and fall did have the most results,
far and away the most.
And then summer.
Matt, although also, by the way, I'm shocked that you didn't have OnlyFans, Patreon.
Well, it's too late, unfortunately.
Too late. Too late.
It was relevant for today. That'd have been an easy one.
Yeah, that was a big conversation pre-show. We are deviants. All right.
We're not talking about all our favorite favorite performers. We're talking about the news, by the way, that they're no longer
you may be.
Yeah. What would be a good third one? So Patreon, OnlyFans, and what would be a good
Fan House, probably.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
No, me neither. I've never heard of that.
For fans.
I have a feeling which would be the number one Google search.
Yeah, Patreon though I'm sure gets searched a lot, but not the same.
All right, let's move on to the big question for the week. This week, Epic Games added a new mode to Fortnite called Impostors, which, by the way, real quick, I had to look this up because they're spelling it with ORS at the end,
wrong.
And you can spell it both ways. Which is, I didn't realize that both were equally correct spellings of the word. I'd always spelled it with an E, so I don't know. It was but strange. So in the mode, 10 players are brought together and separated into 2 groups, 8 agents and 2 imposters. The job of the agents is to complete assignments on the bridge. Meanwhile, 2 imposters are running around trying to stealthily eliminate agents. To help them, imposters can disable assignments, teleport players, or initiate a peely party in which everyone gains banana anonymity, or bananimity. That's a Matt original joke.
Do they call it Matt, or do you call it that?
No, I wrote that in the notes here. I'm proud of it. All right. That will be the title of the episode, by the way. Banana anonymity. The agents need to weed out the imposters and kick them off the bridge before they're all taken out. Now, is this sounding familiar? If you've played Among Us or know anything about the game, it probably should. For all intents and purposes, Imposters is directly lifted from Among Us. But while Among Us is easily the biggest social deduction game we've ever seen, they also weren't the first. Innersloth, the small dev team behind Among Us, stated that they learned about this Fortnite game mode at the same time as everyone else. They expressed their displeasure on Twitter, indicating that Epic should have approached them first, possibly to collaborate on a project. So here's the big question. Morally, where does this situation lie in your mind? Does Epic owe Innersloth a right of first refusal in regard to any collaboration? Or is Epic just doing what any smart developer should do by copying a popular product? Let's toss this one to you, Paul.
We talked about it on the replay yesterday. We actually had a pretty big discussion about it, and you helped sway me actually a little bit on this. Now, I did feel a little bad for Innersloth for like 5 seconds, but ultimately, my main thought on this is it's a fucking party game that anyone plays on their own. It's Mafia. And congratulations, you've made a ton of money. You're doing great. These characters go beyond the game. I honestly think now, I do wonder, my one caveat really is how this is going to affect future things for other developers and other types of games. Maybe a small indie, comes up with a really novel idea, and then Fortnite goes ahead and just rips it off. Innersloth is lucky in that they don't, this isn't going to ruin them. But could it ruin a smaller developer? Possibly. I don't know. But in this scenario, I don't know. You're doing great. You killed it. You're all millionaires. You've done greater than your wildest dreams. This game came out of nowhere after being out for like 2 years. I'm talking about Among Us, of course. Fortnite's just taking your idea. They're not even doing anything overly novel and new about it. They're just doing it in Fortnite. So ultimately, the ball's still in their court to try to do something better, but they haven't done anything incredibly innovative. It's kind of up to you if you want to innovate your game, but I don't think this is going to take, like Matt and I were saying, I don't think this is going to take anyone away from Among Us. This is going to make Fortnite players have a more accessible way to try an imposter type game.
Yeah, I want to go off one of the things that you said, Paul, about possibly hurting other indie developers. I don't know if it'll necessarily hurt them, because the fact is, Epic's not gonna copy a game mode unless your game does super well anyway, because no one will know about it anyway. But I do feel like this could potentially hurt the Epic Game Store in the long run. And what I mean by that is, I could see large games opting to not publish on the Epic Game Store. Epic's going to have intimate knowledge of the games on their store, right? And they're going to know what's popular and what's popular within a game. So the fact that people now know that Epic is going to go out and copy games like this and turn it into a Fortnite mode, that could potentially put people off to placing their own games on the Epic Game Store. Because if it's on, say, they release on Steam, Epic's not going to have inside data on that game. But if it's on the Epic Game Store, Epic is going to know what's going on inside that game. And if something's doing really well, they're like, let's start developing this for Fortnite.
I'll just say really fast, that's an amazing idea. I haven't even thought of that. That's classic conflict of interest idea that I never even thought of, from them being one of the most popular games that they're constantly innovating as a service, and also owning a store wherein they can see what's popular in the industry. That's interesting, and they're competing against their own games in the store,
right,
or other people's games in the store. Very interesting. It reminds me of like the idea of like, big banks being, doing loans, but also like, investing on their own loans and gambling on them. Very, very interesting to see that. I've never considered that angle.
What do you think, Mike? What do you think about this whole situation?
I think I wrote some stuff, but Paul covered some of it. But I think I'm on the other side of the fence, mainly because I just don't like Epic as a company.
Fair.
Honestly, Epic's just doing what Epic is known for, copying a popular product and throwing money at shit. They weren't the first to make a battle royale game. That came from PUBG. They were just the most successful at it. Now we've got Imposters mode, which I haven't played it, so I will preface it with that. I have watched, when you released the notes for this podcast, I did watch some YouTube videos of games being played in it. And to me, as someone who has played a lot of Among Us, it's pretty it's pretty egregious how copied this is. The map is the exact same as Skeld with a little bit of tweaks. All the tasks are the same. Sabotages are there. They changed lights out to be the Peely thing because they don't have a range of sight. It's like okay. I don't think Epic's doing anything like legally wrong here. I think ethically it's like this was pretty lazy, and yeah, Innersloth didn't IP any of their stuff because they were a small group of like, I don't know, 6 developers just doing a game that they wanted to make, and putting it together with spaghetti and duct tape and calling it a day. So like Epic can do whatever they want, and they can just straight up copy it if they want to, but like it's just kind of shitty because Epic, you've got all this money, all these devs. Like you could do something really cool with the genre. Like look at First Class Trouble. It came out after the success of Among Us, and it added a whole new twist on it by making it third person, adding hidden objectives for the humans versus the imposters, et cetera, et cetera. It's doing pretty well to my knowledge. And then you have Project Winter that came out right around the same time as Among Us. Like there are other games in that same exact genre that just do something different to make it more interesting. And Epic is just like, well, here's Among Us, but you can play with your Fortnite characters. And it's like, okay, but like you could have done something cool. Like for me, that's probably the most disappointing thing is like you could have done something interesting and you chose not to. As someone who has played Among Us and coming from like the Innersloth perspective, I don't think they have anything to worry about. Honestly, Among Us as is probably is the less polished game, but I don't see Epic really. This feels like here's a game mode for the next 3 months, and then it's gonna go away, and that's it. It's not like Epic's trying to make the next Among Us. They just toss something in there for an event and called it a day.
I think your final point there makes a lot of sense. I mean, Imposters isn't even doing well on Twitch right now, and it came out yesterday.
No, I'm not surprised by that.
Earlier today, I was searching on the Fortnite category, and I was scrolling down just trying to see if anyone was playing the Imposters mode, and I couldn't find any. And I even checked if there was a separate category for it, and there's not. Mm-hmm. At least I couldn't find it.
No. When I discovered Among Us and started playing it, there was a certain like soul to the game. Like the jankness of the game itself was part of it.
Right.
And it felt like, okay, there's heart that went into this, clearly. It had character to it. Whereas like I look at Imposters and it's just kind of soulless. It's like we want you to play Among Us, but play it in our game. So there you go, you can play it. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Now, Josh, you being an Among Us super fan,
that's true. Yeah.
I would love to get your take on this.
I mean, whereas I hate the gameplay of Among Us and I don't like playing it. I recognize what it did. It was a damn good game, and even to this day, it holds a lot of popularity. And even big streamers, whereas big streamers will ride a high like Rust or something for a little while, Among Us stood high at that food chain for a long time and still gets up to that point, when big guys play it, even without even. And I mean, this does feel very cash grabby. I think Mike's final point pretty much nailed it. I think people are going to go away. I think it's going to be 3-4 months, and I think that's going to be it. You'll have people that are still somewhat interested in it and still want to, dive into it, play, have fun. Like the whole not being top down variation to me makes it a little more unique and interesting, but it still does feel kind of soulless because like Among Us still has the pixelated, unique, little almost cutesy vibe, aside from the fact that, you got to find out who's literally murdering your crewmates. And I think that's something that's kind of missing from this. But, will it suck me in? No, just because I don't like the gameplay. But do I think Epic is a little bit sus for doing it? Yeah. I mean, it feels blatant. It feels lazy and contrived. And I don't really... I mean, they're well in their rights to do it. Go for it. But, like, they kind of look like assholes because of it, I think. But, I mean, it's Epic. Like, they're just kind of already known for it. So they're just kind of leaning into who they are, I think. But, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll be a hit for at least a little while. I'm surprised that it doesn't have its own category on Twitch, though.
Yeah. I was surprised to see that it wasn't really doing anything on Twitch because I did jump in and play a little bit. And I will say, like, it's fun. Like you can jump right in and a game takes like maybe 10 minutes and it's fun. You jump right in, you jump right out. And right now, of course, so to get people in there, they're giving you an insane amount of experience. And it's just, it's a good time. And it's so, because I already have Fortnite downloaded and I already play Fortnite, like it's just so accessible. I already have skins in Fortnite. I've got characters there. So like, yeah, I'll just play this version of it. And I would rather play a third-person perspective version of this sort of thing. Anyway, I feel like that adds to the tension where you can't see behind you and stuff like that. But the main thing, I think, this whole thing, what rubs me the wrong way most is just the Innersloth devs complaining on Twitter. That just seemed unprofessional to me. Like, you guys just continue to iterate on your game. Be quiet. Iterate on your game and then surprise people when you have this new awesome feature coming out or whatever the next evolution of Among Us is. Just, quietly work hard and then come out with something great. You don't need you don't need to come out and start complaining about this. It just that rubbed me the wrong way. Almost like be happy that like this is a form of flattery. You can be frustrated, but come out and say something like snarky or like sassy instead of complaining like you're some downtrodden individual.
Well, it's like what I said on the replay, which is like they could have come in. I don't think it's unprofessional, but I just think it was the wrong move marketing wise, and I think they could have come at this from the Phil Spencer kind of way, where they're like, "Hey, cool to see competition in the space. Cool to see other people making stuff. Now like we have some healthy competition. I'm gonna kick your butt," kind of thing. But like, ha, we're like, I'm not saying that Epic isn't an asshole and that they might want to be like, "Fuck you, Epic." But I just don't know if it was like the move to come out and be like, "We're the poor little devs," and I just feel like it's a better move to just be like, "Hey, we've been the kings in this genre for a while. Obviously, Epic's kings of like fucking gaming." But I'm just saying like. They were like, "Hey, we're kings in this genre. We kind of were the ones who like made this game insanely popular online. Got a shout out. Cool that someone's like taking. Like, they could even be like, "Hey, Epic, like good job copying us, but we're still the OGs." They could do tons of stuff that would have been kind of funny and snarky, like you're saying, Matt. Anything would have been better than just kind of being like, "Oh, like, fuck you, Epic. We're gonna lose our business." It's like, no, you're not. They just like see a bunch of people like me who would never bother to install Among Us because it just seems like I have to get used to the art style. Who will probably like pop into imposters like Matt too, just because I have some skins and I'll fuck around in there for a little bit. But it's not. They're not going to take away Among Us players. It's kind of silly that they would.
No.
It makes me wonder if Epic is almost positioning themselves to take Fortnite to be more than just battle royale. I mean,
totally.
But like maybe a MOBA, like you mentioned the skins or what have you, MMO. I'm just throwing shit out there.
There were recent possible leaks about an RPG type thing.
It could be anything because it's got this like we've talked about. It's a metaverse. It's got this space. It's got all of these different IPs and skins all conglomerated in a space that can change in anything in the island. They can make it Imposter. They can make it Among Us. They can make it League of Legends. They can make it WoW. They can do really whatever, and they'll get some players because the people playing it will just like try it out, which is amazing.
It just felt, just to go back to the Innersloth thing. It just felt like they were like a kid who just like they just lost their kickball. Someone kicked over the fence. They're walking back home. Their head down to the ground, just kicking the dirt. Like they're all sad. Like, no, like This is flattery. Like, say something about it. Don't just be like, oh well, man, Epic just beat us. I guess
I don't
This
know
sucks.
if it's flattery. I mean, it may be like Epic going, "Fuck you, we're gonna try to take your
You could have
player
been.
base."
Yeah.
You could have
But
so easily been snarky.
But I feel like
about it.
privately you can be
Yes.
like, "This sucks," but publicly they probably shouldn't have gone out and played this character where they're upset and they're
just
like,
take it on the chin.
No, but
"We're such
Yeah.
a tiny
It's-
team," and it's like, but
it's not
privately that sucks.
surprising. It's not surprising that was their response, given how young of a development team this really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't say that it's flattery. It's about as flattering as like China making knockoffs of our stuff. It's not really flattery.
Epic says, "Hey, look, we can get a little bit too. Maybe not the whole piece, but
Yeah.
we'll get something."
Especially with how late to the game it is. Like,
Yeah.
it feels very similar to, I don't know what it was, 6-7 years ago, when everyone was like, oh my god, we need to make a battle royale and we're gonna do it in Fallout because fuck, we gotta make one. It's like Among Us was hype a year ago. It's still doing well, but like making a copy that is literally a soulless copy is not going to do well at this point.
You know what it feels like,
Because
Mike?
it just won't.
And there wasn't a lot of fanfare with this. It almost feels like this is Epic testing what else they can do within Fortnite,
Yeah.
and that they really don't care that much about this mode,
No.
because this mode also really probably isn't going to be selling skins like Battle Royale. Like that's still the bread and butter. It's almost like them just taking a look at it and being like, okay, what can we do within Fortnite that's totally different from Battle Royale? I guess it works as a totally separate game mode. I mean, it feels completely different. So I guess if that was their test, if that's what they were trying to do, then we might be seeing some really interesting things coming out of Fortnite in the future. Hopefully more original things.
Hopefully.
Let's move on to Name That Game.
Oh,
It's a good one today, guys. I'm always excited about this. I'm always excited.
Let's go, boys.
In Name That Game, I give the panelists up to 10 clues. The clues start off more vague and progressively get more specific. The first panelist to guess correctly wins. You only get one guess. If you're wrong, you're out of here. We take game title suggestions from our $1 plus supporters over on Patreon at patreon.com/goodnight. Here we go. Value. Maximum value.
Thank you, Josh, for reminding me.
No, I'm here for you, buddy.
First clue. This game first appeared on 2 consoles and PC. This game first released in 2005. This game holds a score of 88 on Metacritic on its highest scoring platform. A commercial failure, this game sold only 100,000 copies at launch. This failure forced the publisher to change their fiscal year projections from an $18 million profit to an $18 million loss, and the CEO to resign immediately.
Fuck is this?
The game's developer acquired the rights for themselves in 2011 and promptly sold more than 1.2 million copies on digital storefronts. The game's genre is 3D platformer. This game received a VR tie-in puzzle game in 2017.
Oh my god, bro. I'm lost in the sauce.
2 more clues. This game's director would be considered one of the auteurs of gaming.
Where to the last one, boys?
All right, the final clue. This game is getting a crowdfunded sequel next week.
I don't have a fucking clue.
The sequel to this game releases
No
next
idea.
week.
No idea. Oh,
3D
Psychonauts.
platform.
It's Psychonauts.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, I never played it. Damn.
All right.
I didn't realize it bombed so bad.
Psychonauts is a big black hole for me. I really didn't follow a lot of I know there's a lot of drama around the development and everything, but yeah, I did not know about that kind of failure and then the cult success. I thought a lot of the original success came from the original launch. I didn't know that it was so much later.
So the deal was, originally it was supposed to be published by Microsoft, but the deal fell through later in development, and so they had to find some other publisher, who was Majesco. That was their publisher. And yeah, they just totally failed on on the release, and
What? Majesco failed? That's like a famous, popular publisher. What are you talking about, Majesco?
I've never heard of
can't believe
Majesco.
they're next to Microsoft in terms of in the phone book. In the
It
phone book,
sounds like
anyway.
the most variation of Microsoft I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's the Mexican Microsoft.
and then years
So
later,
stuffed.
Double Fine acquired the rights to their game again. Tim Schafer obviously is the auteur we're discussing, and
Yep.
yeah, the rest is history. I guess Microsoft is now the one publishing, I believe, Psychonauts 2, because it's only going to be on Xbox. Or no?
Yeah.
Wait, is it on PlayStation? The original game is
one on Game
PlayStation.
Pass.
Okay, yeah, it is. It is.
Phil Spencer, everybody.
The value.
Well, that is some value. Not that the Patreon isn't value, but Game Pass.
I don't think we can beat Game Pass on value.
If we can get our value up to Game Pass levels,
It's good value.
I'll subscribe myself. Instead of just pressuring my girlfriend too.
So have any of the four of us played Psychonauts? It's been on my list forever.
No, it's in my. I downloaded it from Game Pass.
Yeah, I have it
but
downloaded right now.
I haven't played it. I just feel like it's going to be too dated. But I heard people say it's not. But I feel like I should just wait for 2 and just play it that way. But
it's on lists for like greatest game of all time.
yeah, but this is a lot of shit I don't actually want to play.
Well, you know what? If you
I'm
want
sure
3D
it's
platformers to come back, you gotta support them.
I mean,
no, that's right. Shit.
We got to add more. We got to add more
I
guns
did.
to a 3D platformer. That's what I suggested last week on Game Grooves.
All right,
Not
let's
enough
take
guns.
a quick break. Head over to the water cooler to discuss the games that we've been playing this week.
Quick point, really quick, just to interrupt.
Yes.
Just want to say, still one name that game, even though just
Yeah,
by a hair.
True.
We almost took a colossal ill.
I knew that one would be a little bit more difficult, but
Yep.
I'm glad it didn't go unanswered. All right, well, so let's talk about what we've been playing this week. I'm gonna go to you, Josh. You were doing a little dance there, like you were ready to go.
Oh, more so, I was just walking to the water cooler.
Oh, okay.
This is a role play now. Welcome to our role play server. But actually, I've finally broken out of my MMO bubble a little bit. So I mean, where's Final Fantasy's thing? I've been playing Bloodborne. I finally fucking remember to say that. I've also played quite a bit of Far Cry 5. Super good. I forgot how much I enjoyed Far Cry games. I think because the last one I played was Far Cry 4. And that basically was just like, oh shit, we made a bunch of money from Far Cry 3. Make another one. Here's man in a pink suit. You're in the Himalayas. Go. I mean, while the setting was neat, it's like it was just basically the same thing, just not as inspired. And Far Cry 5, they just ramped up. Like, while the tone of the game, I think, is like serious in the background, in the foreground, it's like just goofy as shit. Like, crazy stuff is happening all the time. Like, you'll just be driving down the road and like a bull will just like run into like a fuel tanker. It's just stupid shit. And it just keeps you on your toes, and it's just fun as hell. It's been a blast to play another like good Ubisoft game, and has me hyped to play the new Far Cry when it hits. I've missed just goofing off in a single player game without having to be too freaking serious for once, like with an MMO that I'd normally play.
Have you gotten to fly the plane in the game yet?
Yeah, actually, minor spoilers. I mean, it's been out for a while. I flew to Joseph Seed's statue in the game the second I got the plane, and just blew that bitch up. It's so fun. It's goofy as hell.
The flying the plane is so satisfying.
It works super well too. Like,
it does. It feels so good. I remember when I was playing this game, like I played it on launch, and I was sitting next to my wife was watching me play on the couch, and I was flying the plane. And I'm like, I'm afraid of heights, but like this makes me want to get a pilot's license. It felt so good in that game.
Like just bombing out settlements and taking settlements, just literally by like going over, dropping like bombs. You disable the alarms. It's goofy as hell. It's been fun. I may do the DLCs. I don't know. We'll see how I feel at the end of it. Because I will say the game is long. I just finished the first region.
It is long.
And I have about 12 to 14 hours in. Like, it's long.
Region 2 is probably my favorite.
Is that a Faith?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay,
a
that's
good one. Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
One of the most frustrating missions in that level is one of the last missions with, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it is a plane mission, and it is incredibly frustrating. Well, maybe it's not one of the last ones, but it's at least one of the last ones for a region, at least.
You talking about John Seed?
Is that
region
the one?
By chance?
Is that the one where you
Yeah.
have to take him down?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a really frustrating mission, at least on console, the way it was controlling.
Yeah, I was surprised how good it controlled them. I've been playing strictly mouse and keyboard, and I've been shocked at how well it's like controlled on mouse and keyboard, like, and especially with like piloting and shit.
Yeah, that is a really fun game. I'm all for. We've discussed this a million times, but I love the Far Cry games, and I'm super hyped about Far Cry 6.
Oh yeah, me too.
All right, Mike, what about you? What have you been playing this week?
It's like a week of what haven't I been playing?
Oh,
All right, so let's look through my Steam library. All right, so I've played some Disco Elysium. Started that up when I didn't have internet because I needed something to play.
there you go.
It's pretty good. It's very dense.
Yeah.
Also, you can just game over at the start of the game, so that's really frustrating for a story-based game.
Yeah.
Because now I have to redo story points after I respawn. Yeah, that annoyed me a little bit too much because the build that I have, and maybe it's just the build I'm on, I only have like 1 willpower, and some like 12-year-old calls me fat, and I lose my 1 willpower and then give up all hope.
You lose your will
and I
to live?
lose.
Oh my god.
And then it game overs, and I have to start over at my autosave, and I'm like,
Wow.
why?
That's
Why did this
amazing.
do this to me?
They made it so real.
You're selling me on this
Yeah.
game just by that, actually.
It's great. It's just I hit game over probably twice. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna come back to this. Played a little bit of Back for Blood beta.
Oh yeah.
That was without you, Josh. I played it afterwards.
How's it looking?
And I mean, it's Left 4 Dead, so it's Left 4. I don't know what else to say. It's just Left 4 Dead. It has like a card system to give your group buffs and give you buffs, and it's a more in-depth Left 4 Dead. It's what I think Left 4 Dead 2 would have been like had it had more time in the oven and not pushed so quickly.
Okay.
There's a shit ton of guns in the game. Each character has its own like passive buff to the party and to itself. It seems a lot more deep in what you can do with it. So it seems cool. I'll probably pick it up when it comes out. I've been playing a lot of Oxygen Not Included because it's somewhat of a idle game in my mind because I just outline a bunch of tasks and then fast forward and then go watch YouTube and then come back. I think I'm on like my 6th colony because every time I get to a certain point, I'm just like, okay, I did this all wrong. Restart. But yeah, played some Graveyard Keeper. That's been fun. It's a fun take on what's that game called? The farming game that everyone has.
Oh, Farmville?
Stardew Valley?
Stardew Valley,
Oh.
thank you. It's
Farmville.
Did you say Farmville?
Farmville.
Was it 2010
Facebook.
on Facebook?
Everyone did have it, so
Your pigs need help.
what
So
are
it's
my
a fun take on
props?
Stardew Valley. Get to do autopsies on bodies and take out their organs, casual things that graveyard keepers do.
Yeah, sounds like Stardew
And
Valley.
I'm also a preacher, so I get to do that as well. Playing Dead by Daylight a little bit, waiting for the new DLC to come out. They confirmed Pinhead to be the next killer from Hellraiser, so that's
So
hype.
cool. Get some Cenobites up in here.
Nice.
Very terrifying.
Mhm. Oh yeah. And I bought Humankind and haven't played a game yet. Oh, and I've been playing RimWorld because I want to torture myself, apparently.
Because Oxygen Not Included wasn't enough for you.
Oxygen Not Included is like the gateway drug to RimWorld, it feels. RimWorld is Oxygen Not Included on steroids. Or maybe it's Don't Starve on steroids. I haven't decided yet, but it's one of the two, if not both.
Is RimWorld the gateway drug to Dwarf Fortress?
Yes, 100%.
Are you eventually going to get to that point?
No, I refuse to play Dwarf Fortress. People in college played it, and it was like ASCII art, and I'm like, "What are you playing?" And they're
I
like,
remember
"It's a
friends
fun
that-
game."
I remember friends doing it like whenever we got computers in high school, they would go and play Dwarf Fortress on the computer somehow. I was like, this is the worst thing.
A version with art is coming to Steam at some point.
Yes, it is.
That looks terrible, bro. Jesus.
Yeah, but you can do literally anything in
You
that
can.
game. It's
Anything.
ridiculous.
It's D&D
is.
without, you don't even need friends. It's perfect.
Oh
Well,
shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You play Dwarf Fortress, so
Amazing.
D&D,
the
Dwarf and
assumption
Dwarf.
is there.
Paul, what'd you play this week?
What I play this week, I've been doing a little bit of home reno stuff. I haven't had a ton of time to play games, but I did play a fair amount of Hades. I've been pretty psyched, as I said at the beginning of the show, to play it for a while. I've been putting it off because I just kept going like, it's $20, whatever. One day it's going to go on like a crazy sale, or it's going to go on Game Pass, and it did.
It did.
So
It came to Game Pass.
it did. Also, Humankind, Mike, Game Pass day one, so get with it.
I already bought it.
I know, but you could have seen the value.
What? Yeah, okay.
Tell us about Hades.
If you subscribe to the Patreon right now, we'll give you a copy of Humankind.
No, we won't. We won't do it. He's joking. We won't.
For legal purposes, I'm joking, but for anecdotal purposes, I'm serious. All right. Hades was a blast. It's a blast so far. I'm bad at it, but that's fine. It's a roguelike, so you can be bad at it and eventually get where you need to go by power-ups alone.
True.
So I was feeling pretty good about myself. I got like 10 runs in, and I was doing like okay. And then I saw a bunch of people be like, "Oh, like I was like 13 runs in, and I got through hell, and I'm pretty bad. Like I know people who did it faster." I was like, "Dog, I'm on like round." I was like, when I last looked, I was like 17 runs in, and I'm not even like I'm just hitting Elysium, and I'm like, "Oh, I suck," but that's okay. Having a lot of fun trying to make Megara love me. And Cerberus love me as well. They're my OGs. Thanatos seems like a nice guy. I honestly, I'm not to spoil, but I feel like he has a better actual relationship with the main character. But it's not for me. Not for me. I want that one-winged scary woman.
I need a little bit of toxicity in your life to
Yeah,
spice things up.
You do.
Didn't realize you could romance Cerberus in this game.
No, you can't.
Oh.
You can just make it love you.
Okay.
He's your dog. And
You can,
doggo.
whoa. Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
So you can't do that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've unlocked all the weapons. I'm having a real blast with it. I mean, pretty much the twin fists of Malthon are the only good weapon. I'm kidding, but they're my favorite.
They're mine too.
They're mine too.
I'm having a really good time. I'm excited to just keep powering through. I'm gonna play just a ton of this.
Just be ready, because this is what happened to me when I played it. Just be ready for the game to just keep going, like deeper and deeper, essentially. Yeah. I was like, oh, I've unlocked all the systems. And it's like, no, here's a new system. No, here's a new system.
Wow.
You thought this was it? No, there's more to it. It's just like, it just keeps drilling down and doesn't like tell you until it just happens. It's just like, oh, well, this is different now.
They do a really good, Supergiant does a great job of making you not quite know if you've run out of certain things. Like, I felt like I got stuck on a certain point too long, and then I was like, oh, I'm now that I've gotten stuck, like I had a lot of voice lines and things that felt unique, and then I was like, okay, well, you know what, I've gotten stuck on this point so long, I'm probably going to start seeing some overlap until I get past this point, and then I'm gonna get more new voice stuff. But then there's like, I see some new characters show up, random stuff happens. It's like they're like prepared for me to be bad. They're okay with that. They'll still throw the story and like little encounters in, which is awesome. Yeah, cool. So it's so awesome how it's so interesting how it'll just it's very adaptive to throwing in whatever needs to happen to kind of piece the story together. And I was not. It's one of those games that I saw a lot of people say, especially with the Game Pass thing, saying, "Hey, listen, like I saw people play this on stream. I've seen people play this in reviews. It looks fine. I didn't get the hype, and then I actually played it, and I like love the characters and I love the combat and everything. And I mean, huge recommendation if this is something you'd be interested in for sure."
I think with Hades, I think one of the best thing it does is has a constant narrative that makes you feel like your experience of that narrative is unique. Like everyone experiences the exact same story, but the way everyone gets through it is completely different.
Yep.
I feel like at some point I have to give this game a shot. Even though I know it's not going to be my thing, but I feel like I have to give it a shot just because everyone has played it. Everyone loves it. I feel like I just need to give it a shot at some point.
I'll tell you, it's not normally my thing, and while I haven't beaten it by any stretch, anytime I play it, it sucks me in, and it's really not my style of game either. So
Interesting. All right, well,
it's good.
I'll take a look at it.
Game of the year.
Yep.
Well, I didn't play Hades this week, but I did play Fortnite Impostors, which we talked about. Yeah, I mean it's Among Us, but I mentioned this before, but I enjoy the third person perspective. I feel like it adds a little bit of suspense, like I mentioned, not knowing what's behind you, and that can be a little bit scarier, a little bit more thrilling. The chat options, like when you have the meetings, the chat options are pretty generous. So you press Q on your keyboard, and then it comes up with a wheel with a bunch of different options. You can be defensive or aggressive or ask a question or whatever. So you click that, and then it comes up with, that's an umbrella for a bunch of different options. And then you can, after you click on something, like you can click on like, I want to accuse blank or whatever. And then you click that, and then it comes up with the portraits of the characters for who you'd want to accuse. I feel like it's pretty generous. I kind of wish that you could just type, but I also understand that would get toxic really fucking fast. So probably for the best, but you can communicate pretty well with the options that they give you. I do like the tasks or assignments, I guess, as they call them. There's one that's like a little DDR thing.
Don't want to get sued over here.
Yes, don't want to get sued. There's one like a little DDR game where your character's dancing. You gotta press buttons to a rhythm, and oftentimes there are tasks where it'll be like repair this thing, and then you get like this hammer, and it's just like the destruction part of Fortnite where you're just swinging your axe or your hammer around to repair something or to break something, or they use that mechanic a few different times. And of course the Peely party is fun. Everyone just turns into Peely. My favorite character, of course.
As if you're not already Peely anyway, but
I am already Peely. Yeah,
for those who aren't, yeah.
It is kind of funny.
You're like, why is everyone else? Did everyone else pick Peely? That's pretty sick.
I haven't been an imposter yet. It's one of those things where it's like, I want to play as the imposter, but you can't just like make it happen. So I haven't had that chance yet. Always been an agent every time. I think the agents only lost one time that I was playing, and it was a situation where I think I was the last agent left and the game ended because you can't just have one agent even though they didn't kill me. And I knew who it was. I couldn't convince the other people who it was, but they just, they didn't believe me, and then so we lost. So fuck all of you. But anyway, got a bunch of experience, so that was nice. I also played Jackbox this week on Josh's community stream night. Always a good time, especially if you're drinking. Then it's a great time.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, that's a lot of fun. Champed Up, great game. I'm not great at drawing. I'm not very artistic, but I still feel like I can, come out with a clever thing every now and again. It's either like, I feel like I'm either drawing something that's pretty clever or something that's just like,
or just like a dick.
Or yeah, basically. Or you just default to the dick. Yeah. Planning to start playing Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut tomorrow.
With real purring cats using DualSense technology.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. You pet the cat, they purr, and you get the haptic feedback on your DualSense.
I know DualSense is cool, but I saw Uphill posting about that and being like, this is such a novel feature. Dude, play Sea of Thieves out there, everyone. I know it's not DualSense, but you pet your cat that you're holding in your little arms, your pet cat, and it purrs and you get a vibration. I'm just saying.
I will say, regular vibration is very different from haptic feedback in the DualSense.
Okay, I know it's good. I know it's better.
It's
but
very
I'm saying,
different.
People are like, the cat it vibrates. I saw people say it rumbles when it purrs, and all I can say to that is, Sea of Thieves did it first. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Joy-Cons have good rumble.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say they don't. I'm just saying they don't have
No. They've got the haptics, they do, but it's not like the DualSense. It's not. It's really not. You have a DualSense,
It's interesting to see.
I have a DualSense, and the most impressive thing is the triggers, not the haptic feedback.
Those triggers are great. Have you played Astro's? Have you played Astro's Playroom?
Yeah.
Well, then you must understand that the haptics are fucking phenomenal.
You must understand the haptics are superior.
Sir, you must understand.
Yeah. Okay. I've also played Returnal. Like, yeah, I can feel that it's raining, but I mean, after a while, it just feels like the same looping vibration on my hands.
You're taking it for granted. You've become spoiled already.
I like
It doesn't enhance my playing experience. Is what I'm saying.
You take that back. It enhances the playing experience. It makes the playing experience so much better than Xbox. All right. Anyway, let's move on to Claim a Game. Claim a Game. I give our panelists a choice between two games and ask them which one sold better or which one scored higher reviews. They have to claim one of the games. Review scores are taken from Metacritic and based on the best scoring platform. We'll play 8 rounds. The panelists can make the same claims, but whoever makes more correct choices at the end wins. We take matchup suggestions for Claim a Game from our $1 plus supporters over on Patreon at patreon.com/Goodnight Groofs, where you can message us your suggestion. All right. Value.
Value.
More units sold. GoldenEye 007 or Perfect Dark.
And 2 really overrated games.
So
Go fuck yourself. No, I actually do agree.
Imagine you had the dual sense on there.
They were revolutionary though.
Yeah.
I don't.
I feel like it's a trick question because I feel like we're obviously
Perfect Dark.
I think it's GoldenEye, so I'm gonna say Perfect Dark.
I'll just
GoldenEye
go.
didn't sell well.
I'll go with Perfect Dark. Yeah.
But I don't know if Perfect Dark sold well.
GoldenEye 007, 8 million. Perfect Dark, 3.2 million.
We
got dumpstered, boys. We got dumpstered.
Perfect Dark was like the iteration on GoldenEye. It was kind of like this is what first person shooters became. All right, higher score: Until Dawn or Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Well, you're doing me like this because I want it to be Until Dawn because I loved Until Dawn. It was the only good version of the game, the only good game they made. In that.
Whoa!
No,
whoa!
I'm just saying the Dark Pictures anthology kind of sucks, and Until Dawn's better.
Mike's got some interesting takes.
Can we just have a second here? Can you just tell me what you think is better than Until Dawn? Do you think it's fucking
No.
is better?
Little Hope.
No.
Little Hope. Fuck out.
Little Hope is good. Little Hope is good. I'm not saying Until Dawn isn't the best because it is. I'm just saying Little Hope is also good. Man of Medan was terrible.
Man of Medan is terrible. I haven't played Little Hope yet, but I just heard it was more like Man of Medan than Until Dawn. Okay, fair enough.
What about the Inpatient, guys? The Inpatient.
What is that?
You just looking shit up now.
That was the VR Until Dawn.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. If it had dual sense, maybe I'd give it a try, but I don't know.
Anyways,
I want it to be Until Dawn, so I'm going to say Until Dawn.
I think Claim That Game has taught me I have a very limited scope of gaming. I knew that, but now I'm learning it. I'm going to go with Resident Evil based on the name.
I think 7. RE7.
Until Dawn. Until Don't. It was Resident Evil 7. 86 to Until Dawn's 79.
Yeah.
It's fair score. I didn't know Biohazard did that well. I didn't know much about it, to be honest.
It did. It was sort of like the comeback for Resident Evil.
I would argue one of the best modern Resident Evils.
Dang.
Also, fun fact, it's called Resident Evil Biohazard here and Biohazard Resident Evil in Japan.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. Who's keeping score, by the way?
Me.
Right.
Usually Mike. He's got his golf pencil out.
More units.
No, don't.
Splatoon 2 or Tomb Raider 2013.
Splatoon 2 or Tomb Raider who now?
Tomb Raider 2013.
The remake.
Okay, that one. Okay. Yeah, I'm going with this is hard.
It's hard. I'm gonna go Tomb Raider because that shit was out on everything.
I'm going Tomb Raider as well, yeah.
Sam, Tomb Raider.
Splatoon 2, 12.5 million. Tomb Raider 2013, 11 million.
Oh,
how did that?
It was close.
What? I thought it might be. If you said Splatoon, I would have thought it obviously was Splatoon, but 2 was a.
Splatoon has sold incredibly well.
Is that including like those sold in bundles?
I don't believe so. Maybe, but
shit.
I'm not
That's
sure.
how I got Splatoon 2. And
there was the Splatoon version of the Switch, right?
Yeah.
It was actually a cool Switch.
The problem was when I got it, the paint was wet.
What?
What does that mean?
All right.
Is it paint or ink? They're squids.
Inks? Yeah, it's ink, I guess. You know what? Everyone can just deconstruct this, okay? But...
Higher score. Higher score, the Crash Insane Trilogy or Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Oh God.
I know we've had sales for this, but now we're on scores.
Matt's been a tricky bitch on this
I'm
whole
saying
thing, I'll be
Crash.
honest.
I was going to go Crash too.
I think you're messing with me. I'm going to say Spyro.
Insane Trilogy an 80, Spyro an 83.
I'm a bitch.
That Spyro Reignited Trilogy, so good. So good. Highly recommend it.
And yeah, that's coming from you, like, who really enjoyed Insane Trilogy.
Yeah, it's just at a certain point, Crash gets too hard for me.
It's one of those things too, right? Where it was like they did 3D in a way that like they just kind of got into 3D, and so some of the puzzles are too fucked up to work in 3D. Right?
Yeah, it's
where,
even
like, you can't depth perceive certain things, so it makes it like really fucking difficult to understand where the things are coming from.
Yeah, even in the Insane Trilogy, like just by nature of what the game is, some of it still just feels kind of janky.
Yeah. What's the score, by the way, so far?
1-1-1.
Ooh.
Nice.
More units. Halo Reach or Halo 4?
Oh.
Damn, that's hard because you got the new studio with 4, but Reach is fucking goated.
Reach is great, and also Reach had a long lifespan between 3 and 4 where nothing else was coming out.
I'm going Reach just because I got to do my boy right.
Me too. I love Reach.
Same.
One of my favorite Halos.
Reach 9.9 million. Halo 4 9.8 million.
Oh
My God.
That's a close one.
God almighty.
That's a difference of Psychonauts' initial release sales.
I'm Hey-o.
Wow.
All right, higher score. Super Mario Sunshine or Sonic Mania?
Oh my God.
I really feel for Sonic fans.
Sonic Mania was like
Sonic Mania.
Yeah, I have to say Sonic Mania. Every critic just like flipped their shit over it. I'm saying Sonic Mania.
Oh, fuck it.
It's not good.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario Brothers 2.
Super Mario Sunshine 92, Sonic Mania 86.
Wow.
Let's go, boys.
And
Fuck that hedgehog.
Just watch the bristles. Just remember that was the famously is one of the best Sonic games, thus maybe the best Sonic game to ever come out. 86. So just a reminder to Sonic fans, including myself. Just kind of depressing.
It might. Well, I would say what a Generations got. That would be the other close contender. But other than that,
I mean, Sonic 2 is pretty friggin' great.
There's no good Sonic game, actually.
Old school.
It's a common misconception. There actually is no good Sonic game.
Shut up. I remember there was a great GameSpot or IGN. They had that really good roundtable that was going viral.
Yeah.
Where they kept going like, "Was Sonic ever good?" It's like, wow. Because I don't know if anyone's ever read or listened. I listened to the audiobook for the Console Wars, which is actually a pretty good book. And it just goes to show, it was pretty much all about how Sonic and Sega is all marketing and how amazing that marketing is. And they got lucky that Sonic 2 was pretty great.
More units. The entire Metroid series from 1986 to 2017. Or Terraria.
Terraria. Come on.
Gotta be. There's no way. It's Terraria, by the way. I think is
Terraria. Here we go. I'm going with Terraria. Shit. Yeah. I have to.
Is it Terraria? I've always called it Terraria.
I feel like
right, because it's terrarium.
Paul, what's your decision?
I said the same thing.
So the entire Metroid series from 1986 to 2017, 18 million units.
Easy.
Terraria, 20 million. Yeah. Only 2 Metroid games ever passed 2 million units. That is the original Metroid game and Metroid Prime. Only 2 games to pass 2 million units sold. And for some reason,
used to make a Metroid game.
Yeah.
For some reason, people think it's this beloved series. 18 million over 10 games? I mean,
no one buys it.
Some of those games are legit trash, though.
Yeah.
All right, what's the score
Gems.
at?
It's like Sonic. There's gems. There's gems here and there.
Was Metroid ever good?
Yes, exactly. Let's have that game. Okay, we're coming for you, IGN. What's the score? What's the score?
Oh, 3, Paul, Josh with 4. I have 3.
Okay, here we go.
Tire
Mamma
wing
mia.
here.
2 episodic games to finish it off here. Higher score, Life is Strange or Hitman 2016?
You going for the butt fuck on me again here? Because again, 2 games I have not played.
I mean, Life is Strange is one of my favorite games of all time, but it's
Is that the whole series of Life is Strange?
I think we're talking 1, but all the episodes, right? Like the one, like we're talking about the original Life is Strange.
Oh yeah. This is
Yeah,
higher
that's what I
score.
meant.
Yeah.
All of the episodes, though, of it?
I believe the scores are for all of the episodes,
For
yes.
cumulative.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of my favorite games, but it's rough.
I love it, but it ended so poorly.
I'm gonna go with Hitman.
I'm gonna go with Life is Strange just because I love it. I can't.
let's go
not.
I'll go with Life
gang.
is Strange
Yeah.
because I think at least 1 through 4 had great reviews.
Wow, they hate it on 5. You don't like Bay or Bay, Mike?
I don't like
You don't like that every- you don't-
spoilers.
Okay, but
Spoiler
but
warning.
all I will say is you don't like how all your choices are meaningless. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I agree.
You made a choices matter game and then made the final decision be your choices
Binary.
don't matter or your choices don't matter.
By the way, anyone who picked Chloe is
okay.
a fucking monster, and yes, that's you, Paul.
I pick Chloe. I always pick Chloe.
Why did you pick Chloe?
I pick Bay over Bay, man.
Anyway, the scores. Life is Mike. Did you give yours? Did you give yours?
Life is Strange. Life is Strange.
Life is Strange 85, Hitman 2016 84.
So good.
Oh,
Is this a 3-way tie here?
Oh
Yep.
man.
Here's how we're going to decide this. Whoever is closest to the exact number for Sonic Generations on the Xbox 360.
Yeah,
Wait,
you're
however's
really just coming for
closest to
throat.
the
Whoever is
number?
closest to the number.
78.
Price is right rules or no?
No Price is Right rules, just whoever's closest.
84.
I'm gonna say 82.
77. Josh wins.
Let's go, boys! I won
my
again.
God.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice. I'm the name that game king. You're the claim a game king.
Oh, love to see it.
What's the score on Sonic Boom?
Oh, Legend of the Rings. Or was it Rise of Lyric? I can't remember what the stupid.
Sonic Boom.
Has a bad name.
Oh my god. Which one?
The Rise of Lyric.
Rise
is that
of
the first
Lyric, a 32.
one? Yep.
Yeah, it was unfinished.
Don't you like when you take your
Holy
favorite?
shit.
What you know? What would make Mario better is making him taller and real stretched out.
You cannot have
They had actual animations that weren't finished. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
you
The
can't
show
have a
apparently
32.
was pretty good.
You can't have a 32
Yeah.
in your game series and say that you have a good game series.
I don't know if that's fair. I think you
Excuse
can have
me,
a-
look. We got Sonic 06 here to really
Yeah.
bump those numbers
What
up
is-
with a solid 46 on Metacritic.
Sonic 06 did better. That game wasn't even
mean,
made. It wasn't even close to finished.
People unironically asking on Google, can you play Sonic 06 on Xbox?
Is there actually
We're like, why can't you?
rolling around at the speed of sound?
Oh gosh.
All right, let's move on to audience questions here. Every week we address 2 or 3 audience questions, comments, or concerns. We take questions from our supporters over on Patreon at patreon.com/goodnightgroofs.
How much you have to pay?
Oh, I'm going to get to that. Leave your questions in the comments section of the previous episode's post. The $1 tier, Paul,
Woo-hoo!
will get
Good
you
value.
access to question
Ish.
submissions. We also take submissions at gamegroofs@gmail.com and in the YouTube comments, but our patrons will always receive priority. So far, our patron, our one patron has...
It sounds like a god our patron that we
He has
praise you.
stopped submitting questions, so send us an email, give us a YouTube comment, and we'll answer your question. All right.
Matt, just really quick,
Yes.
for the $1 patron tier, can I send you objects that I know are worth $1 I had appraised?
No.
Okay.
We accept currency only.
Cash, so send you cash in the P.O. box. Got it.
Yep.
That's it.
First question. This one comes in from Ernest Hemingway, actually.
Wow.
If you could pick,
Strangely, we had to edit this down because it's crazy misogynistic. But we,
yeah. If you could pick one video game world to live in, which would it be? Josh, let's go to you.
I had a few different options. The obvious one is WoW, but you know what? We're going with good old Tamriel during the Oblivion Crisis.
Ooh.
I might
sounds
die.
horrifying.
I might
awful.
die, and it's terrifying. But you know what? The music's really pretty, and hopefully, there's like headphones or something, so I can
They
listen.
weren't
Do you think
invented.
there's just like a backing track while
You're
you're
not the protagonist. You're just a random. You're a random villager.
I think they had the Sony Walkman back then, right?
A portal
you
that
have to,
opens up and
you
you
have to
get
be
murdered.
frozen in place while you talk to people. You realize that, right?
That's all
And
right.
zoom in on there, you
just-
can see the pores of their face. They're zoomed right in.
You just kind of.
Hello there.
You most likely will look like a potato.
I already do, so I'm fucking living up to the
It's a
expectations.
sacrifice he's willing to make.
Exactly. All right, Tamriel, love it.
Mike, what about you?
God, my answer was none of them because they all sound terrible, and I'll just die.
Wow.
But I picked one. I think I don't know, Mass Effect.
Okay.
Might be cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll die immediately.
Depends on where you are, right? Yeah.
It depends on what I'm doing, right? But at least there's a
Yeah.
chance that I can have a normal life.
Are you a space optimist?
Sure.
Paul, what about you?
Josh, are you sure you don't want to hang out on the ship from Among Us?
Well, you're definitely gonna die there. I mean, it's-
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You might not if maybe you're the imposter.
Because I suck dick at that game.
All right. So I was kind of in the same realm as Mike, where I think I don't really want to live in any terrible hellscape game. But I did pick. I kind of crossed it between. I said Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley, something like that. Just some little place where you have a village, you tend to a farm, you just chill out. My one downside to Animal Crossing is Tom Nook kind of freaks me out a little bit, so maybe I'd be hanging out in Stardew or something. But generally just a little farming village sim where I can just have a little simple life and there's no dying.
all right.
I thought Stardew also, but I don't want to farm.
I was gonna say a lot of
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
A lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I'm
You-
lazy.
You strike me as a farmhand, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Look,
Show us those hands covered in blisters, I tell you.
see, I thought you guys are saying anywhere you pick, it's gonna kill you. It's
I mean,
gonna
not
be
Josh.
terrible.
He wants a portal to hell. So
Look.
I mean,
Here's my pick. It's the world of Pokemon Gold and Silver. It's Johto. I love Johto. I love Kanto. You can go to Kanto as well.
excellent choice.
Being a
Excellent choice.
Pokemon trader
That's a
would be
great choice.
fucking awesome.
Yep.
Insanely cool career. Just a really cool career.
And worst case scenario, the career doesn't work out. Your mom just sends you money.
True. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you just have your,
Bro.
you just have your real mom in this world, so maybe not. But
yeah.
I mean, okay, but what about if you end up as one of those NPCs that stand on a path for all eternity and get
just don't take the job.
mugged by 10-year-olds?
Just because you took the interview doesn't mean that doesn't mean you have to take the job. There's other options. out there.
I just
great
think it,
I love it.
it would
Great
be a lot
choice.
of
Great choice. And gold and silver, good
Yeah.
choice with the two regions. I really like that a lot. Really.
special shout out to GeoGuessr. I feel like that would be an okay world.
Wow.
At times at
It
least.
sounds awful, actually.
I choose
Quantum
Flight
Leap. I
Simulator.
was thinking it's like Quantum Leap or something. You're kind of in the game a little bit, so you can enjoy the spot. But as soon as you realize where you are, you get sucked to a different place.
Oh, yeah.
Having such a beautiful day in Denmark. Don't tell me.
All right.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Afghanistan, fuck.
Oh, shit. Topical. All right.
Yikes.
Next question. This one comes in from Ben Stiller.
Wow.
Big
Wow.
fan. Big fan of the show, actually.
Yeah, for anyone audio listening, I did Blue Steel in case they're interested.
Ish, please.
The question is, what multiplayer only game do you wish had a single player mode or a single player spin-off? Let's go to you, Paul.
I don't know. This is such a weird question. I don't play a lot of multiplayer only games, so it was hard for me to think of one. I'm like, oh, Battlefield would be funny. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Ben, but I'm making fun of your question. No, I don't have a great answer. I said Fortnite, even though, which is funny because they have a single player version, but it's so balls they never bothered. I'm sure it's good though. But the RPG thing that they're talking about, the rumors, that sounds pretty fun. I'd be interested in playing, being Batman or a banana and doing some weird RPG shit. Why not? But yeah, I don't play enough multiplayer only games to have a great answer.
Okay, I'll just give my answer now. Just change the order up a little bit. The obvious answer is World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But
see, I thought I'd miss all the people. I thought that answer too, and then I think I'd miss it. Like
I just think you could do a cool RPG in that world. At least like if you're taking the story from like Warcraft 3, like directly from that.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. I think the
Don't go to
story.
Shadowlands.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the story's been so bad for so long that a single player game would just be only bad.
Right. You'd have to go back to do like a single player story during like Warcraft 2 or something.
Do an Arthas single player game or something.
So, but my actual answer, because I felt like that was just kind of obvious, I would have liked to have seen a single player story mode for Shadowrun 2007.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
the world of Shadowrun is just super fucking interesting.
I agree.
And just like a dark and gritty FPS RPG could have been so cool.
Couldn't you be a goat man or something that could teleport in that game? I think that was part of it. Or a Minotaur man in the future.
They did have, they had that.
Yeah. I remember. I thought that was such a cool game. If no one remembers what it is, definitely look it up because it's really cool. I agree with you, Matt. I actually wanted to know more about what was going on in that game, and it kind of sucked that it was only a lackluster multiplayer game.
So Shadowrun is based on a tabletop RPG, and it's had like other games. They're usually like tactical turn-based RPGs type things, and they're never like a big deal. But I would really like to have seen, take the shooter like they tried to do with the 2007 game, which failed miserably, and turn it into like a single player RPG and just like this dark and gritty fantasy cyberpunk almost sort of world. I just think that could be really cool. If you've seen the movie Bright, it's like a similar concept.
But less Will Smith. Not
better.
No Will Smith.
Less.
Just less.
Josh, what about you?
So WoW was the easy answer, of course, but this is semi on it. Destiny. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you have all these good Bungie writers. Yeah. And instead we get churned out, something that fits with this MMO light we have with Destiny. I don't know. Give me a cool, like, genuine, like, lengthy story mode in the world they've made in Destiny. Because the gunplay's so damn good. You make a story around it, it'll work.
Great call.
But the story is awful as is, so
that wizard came from the moon.
Peter Dinklage, you are not missed at all. I have that T-shirt.
I don't like the replacement. Is it Nolan North or something? I liked Dinklage actually.
Yeah, I had difficulty with this question too, mostly because I was like, okay, what FPS do I want a first person? Like, what FPS do I want a single player mode to? And my initial response was Overwatch, which Overwatch 2 is coming out, so neat. But honestly, like, I don't even know that I'm that jazzed about it now that I'm thinking about it. But
you got some time to wait though. 2023, so
yeah, I know.
2025.
Yeah, it's the new 2023.
2020 never. So instead, I went with Rainbow Six Siege just because I want another Rainbow Six game.
Please,
yeah, there you go.
Just give me Vegas 3 and I'll be happy.
Please,
Fair
God.
enough.
Please,
enough.
God.
All right, let's move on to Tickle My Listicle. In Tickle My Listicle, everybody's favorite segment name, the panel puts together a list to fit around a certain topic, and then we discuss our picks right here on the show. We'll take turns sharing our picks for each round until we get to our number one pick in each category. This week's Listicle, our top 3 games that we got most competitive with. Let's go to Mike first. Mike, what's your number 3 on this list?
Number 3 was difficult because I couldn't decide between 2 games.
Give an honorable mention. You can do that.
Honorable mention to Warzone because I didn't really know what to put as competitive with as opposed to just played the most. Or maybe Overwatch. I don't know. I didn't I didn't feel like I was competitive in
Okay.
it. But my number 3 is probably Guild Wars 2. I got super just in depth on the PvP when they announced the PvP legendary back piece. Did some, went to a site that told me how to build it and told me the minimal amount of playtime that I would need if I was good. Basically, I had to play 2 seasons of PvP, so I said, all right, that's what I'm doing. Dropped the PvE back piece because it was more expensive and just played PvP for 2 months.
Damn.
And then got my back piece. So
Nice.
I have that back piece in that game, and not a lot of people do.
That's the best thing about MMOs is
Oh,
like
yeah.
when you do something that is limited and that not a lot of people have, and you can just like wear that as just like a badge of honor throughout the rest of your career in that game. Josh, what about you? Number 3.
I debated between these two, so I'll actually give WoW number 3. I've always played, relatively casually. I do heroic rating and always get, ahead of the curve, the most recent, the current rate achievement, yada yada. But in Legion, I played so goddamn much. I was playing like 8 to 10 hours a day. Yeah, I didn't have a job. I would come home from college. I would sit down and play WoW. My rogue was number 1 on the server for about 3 weeks.
Damn.
I was playing a shitload of WoW during the beginning of Legion. And good time. I was competitive and wanted to, go big dick for a while. And that's the last time I'm ever doing that.
Damn. And you play on a big server too. I remember I had mentioned this on a previous episode where for like all of Warlords, I was like the top geared paladin on my server, but it was a really small server. You play on a massive server.
Now, to be fair, this was a smaller server at the time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, no. Now doing that on Thrall, Jesus Christ, I can't imagine.
It still takes a shit ton of time and commitment. Paul, what about you? Number 3.
Yeah, so just to remind everyone too, $1 and up patrons get to tickle my listicle.
Oh,
if you donate. So just a reminder, whatever.
Where's the donate button?
I'm not saying have to. I'm just saying get to.
that's not allowed on the OnlyFans anymore. So
Sure, yeah.
Only groups coming soon. We need a replacement. So number 3 for me, pretty easy, kind of a little bit out of left field. I don't know if everyone ever remembers playing #iDarb. It draws a red box on Xbox. It was kind of a fan-created, chaotic game that basically started as a tweet, and then it became this kind of crazy little game. You have these little sprites. And it's like a 2D platformer thing. You're on like a little platform. There's 2 goals on either side, and there's this little ball, and you can like huck it around, and you can like grab it and throw it and the controls are like, it's almost like the controls are purposely kind of shitty and janky, and so the ball flies around, and the jumping's really floaty. And there's kind of like weird ways to get around. It's almost like Rocket League in a 2D platformer.
Oh.
It was just the most. I got crazy competitive. A buddy and I. Most of these games are the games I played with one friend who was extremely competitive as well. And we would just spend hours getting really pissed off at this game. We broke holes in the basement walls a little bit. We got mad
Jesus.
at iDarb, man. We got mad at this game. It just, we'd play 2v2 with other people online. It wasn't even us against each other, but it slippery sports, I think, is what I'll call them. This and stuff like Rocket League. Just you can, but that's tighter. This was not tight, and yeah, a lot of fun. Definitely, I think it's probably still free on Xbox somewhere if anyone ever feels like trying it. It's a blast.
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Before my number 3, I also have an honorable mention, and similar reason to Mike. I played it a lot, but I wouldn't quite call myself competitive, and that was Hearthstone. Played a lot of Hearthstone. Love that game. Still love it. But it's just so expensive if you want to keep up. I got okay, but I never ranked to where I wanted to. But my real number 3 is called Guns the Duel. I don't know if any of you have heard of this one. It's a Korean third-person shooter. It was free to play. It was probably pay to win, but I had no idea at the time. I played it a ton, like 2006 to 2008. It was really cool, and then it had wall running, it had double jumping, it had dodging. You had a sword in your arsenal that could block incoming bullets. Like, this game was really fun and had some really cool ideas that I have not seen in other games.
This actually looks pretty cool. Just looking at like a little video of it.
It was awesome at the
The
time.
time.
I played this game a ton. I loved it so much. So many of the maps were so good. Just like what you could do, like I said, with the wall running, how that changed the game. Being able to block bullets with your sword was just ridiculous. Like people were so good at that game, but yeah, I was okay, but I was never like on that crazy level, but it was just so fun to play.
Cool.
Mike, what about you? Number 2.
Number 2. Yeah, this one was a little bit easier. I just went to my Steam page and saw my most played game is Rocket League, so I put that down. I'm not very good at it, but I mean, I've played it so much that it has to be up here. It's easily one of my more competitive games. There was a time when, I think I got to Diamond, but that time has passed. I'm not the MLG pro that Josh is at Rocket League, so
Josh, you're number 2.
So I forgot to throw my honorable mention there. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Played the shit out of that. Was a sweaty KD nerd. Never did rank though. Anyways, my number 2 actually syncs up well with Mike there. It's Rocket League. I am a sweaty, angry little nerd when it comes to that game, and I love the hell out of it. And I've almost, maybe once, I don't know though, have itched into champ at least once. Normally sit at diamond, and it's just, the game has a tendency to make me really fucking mad. But it's so good and so fun. I'm probably gonna I don't know, play it some this weekend. I don't know. I just talking about it makes me want to play it. It's so good.
It is really fun to watch both of you play Rocket League together. It really is a good time. Paul, you're number 2.
My number 2 is FIFA, specifically FIFA 2011.
Ooh,
I never played a sports game really at all, besides like old sports games that came with a Sega Genesis I bought at a yard sale. That was I played some of those. Those were pretty rough. But yeah, I played a lot of FIFA 2011. Like I played the hell out of it. Again, same buddy and I, we would just play this all the time. We had to stop playing because we'd get like into huge fights with each other. I think it's just more about toxic friendship, I think, than it is the games. But yeah, I competed the hell out of this game. Anyone who came over, I'd make them play FIFA with me for a while. I went through, it was probably only like a year or so, but I went through a year where I was crazy obsessed. But then I kind of fell behind in the series, and I just kind of lost interest. But yeah, I got very, very competitive with FIFA for a while.
That's funny that you have a sports game and I didn't. I don't have a sports game on the list.
I don't know.
Just because I never
more
like
chill about it.
Yeah, I never got competitive. It was about the simulation aspect for me.
For me, it's like I think it was the thing about FIFA was just like because of, like I said, like the people I was around we get really competitive about it, and so that's what drew me. Yeah.
True. My number 2, another Korean game. This is War Rock.
Oh my god, I remember you played so much War Rock.
War Rock is an FPS that I think has just become pay to win. I got super sweaty in this game around the same time as Guns, and it was a legitimately good FPS. And
so what you're saying is
totally
you haven't been competitive about a game since 2006.
Pretty much. You'll find that in my number 1 as well.
Yeah.
It weirdly had really good holiday events, which I really like in games. Like they would change some maps to have snow and like Christmas lights and Christmas trees are in December. It was like weirdly cozy for a competitive FPS. And I feel like a lot of the maps were just really good. Even if it was pay to win, which I don't remember if it was at the time or not, but if it was still fairly well balanced because I never paid anything to play the game and I still did really well. So I don't know. And I had a buddy who never paid anything and every game we played, he was the best player in the game. And I just had so much fun in War Rock. I feel like if I went back now, it would just be complete, absolute trash. I don't even know if the game is still live, but a lot of fun. So much time spent in that game. I miss the days of being competitive like that in an FPS. All right, Mike, you're number 1.
All right. So my number 1, it has to be, and this might not be a surprise, Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to put it because I was technically part of an amateur league that was trying to get into the invitational to the competitive scene, because that's how Heroes of the Storm worked. There was like a pre-professional tournament, and then if
Was
you
that the
win
Heroes
that,
of the
you can go
Dorm?
to it. No, Heroes of the Dorm was different. That
Okay.
was just for tuition,
Oh,
which I
okay.
thought was really cool.
Yeah.
that's cool.
But yeah, so I was on a team. We were called Guys Gems. We didn't do great. So I main support. I was the healer. I had, I believe, the highest healing stats of the season. Was not given the MVP healer award at the end of the season, which was
Trash.
confusing. I think I was on like second team of the all-star team or whatever.
What a
But
shame.
anyways,
Blizzard. More things heaping on Blizzard here.
second season they changed me to main as tank, which I hated. But we also changed our name to 8-second respawn, which was
Cool.
I thought a better name.
Yeah.
And then if we were to do a season 3, which we were going to, but then Blizzard decided, here's the storm, we don't need any competitive scene anymore. So I stopped our third season team. This was my buddy Darkfire's idea. Quest complete, time to feed was going to be
Nice. Love that.
our team
That's a
name.
good fucking name.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
So yeah, here's the storm. For only game that I can actually claim I competed in. I think I was on Twitch a few times with like announcers too.
Wow.
Cool.
Oh,
That's
shit.
sweet.
Yeah.
That's
What
really
the
cool.
fuck?
Really, really cool.
Josh, your numero uno.
Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Did it back in the old game battles days. The old bad clan. Turns out we lived up to that name. We sucked fucking dick. But we had fun doing it. We tried to climb the ranks often. And goddamn, the game was just so good. It was fun. It was tight. It had so many goofy little things you could do with it. Literally, one of the competitive, like I guess meta things you could call it, was you literally on my old CRT TV, you pull up a menu, like your little menu when you're leaned up against a wall. You put a marker like on that point, and then you can blind fire with a sniper rifle and hit people with that marker that you physically put on your TV.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
It was
that's
the
ridiculous.
goofiest shit, but that's what made it so fun because everyone just did it, and like Ubisoft didn't even try to moderate it. I don't know. I miss that shit. I'd love for them to do a third one. God damn.
Nice. Paul, number one.
Number one, coming out with the weird games. We're coming in with one more. Number one is another little Xbox indie gem here, Doritos Crash Course. Let's move over, Lays, because this is Doritos Crash Course. Let's be honest, it's like the story of a toxic friendship tonight. Same guy. He introduced me to Doritos Crash Course. We would spend hours just getting pissed off at each other. His little brother would come in, play. Everyone would come over. We'd start playing. We'd like, let's play Crash Course. That'll be fun. Little party game. It's so casual. And we would just, because we'd play for like 8 hours every night, just like chatting and playing Crash Course. We became like Crash Course masters. It's just the stupidest game. Just a 2D little obstacle course. But I almost broke up with one of my girlfriends playing Crash Course. Her little brother like yelled at me because he was getting upset at Crash Course. It's just like it got kind of hard and you could really screw people over, and I did every single time. So I was ruthless in that game, and if there was a World Series, I think I would have ranked. I'll be honest with you. I never chickened out on a trial. I'll tell you. You could press the right bumper for it, but I never did, and finisher all the way.
You know,
holy shit.
hearing these stories, I'm glad you never got into like a seriously competitive game, Paul. It could have ended poorly.
There, man. Yeah.
All right. My number one, Halo 2. The original
Classic.
Halo introduced me to LAN parties, but Halo 2 took that up a notch. And then when they added online,
Bam.
you know, that just took things to the next level. I spent so much time with my buddies playing swords only and rockets only on the Lockout map. It's just so fun. We had a mode. I don't know if this was like a mode that everyone had, but we had a mode called SWAT, which was battle rifles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I played
Fuck
SWAT
yeah.
on Reach all the time. Holy crap, it's one of my favorite
It's
modes.
the only mode to play, baby.
Yeah,
It's goated.
it's
Just so good. So fun. Halo 2, I still think is probably the pinnacle of Halo, in my opinion. But I'm sure there are dissenting opinions out there as well. What do you guys think? What's the best Halo in your opinions?
Halo Reach.
I think we already said Reach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Two's good. But...
I had
2 is great. 2 was good. 3, I loved 3. The multiplayer in 3
Yeah.
was pinnacle of the original 3 for me. But Reach just like made that perfect.
Reach nailed the multiplayer.
And then
Like
ripped it all down.
Yep.
See, I didn't play enough
definitely.
Reach probably.
A lot of people didn't. I think if you weren't a Halo nerd and you didn't I think I accidentally stumbled on Reach and then I just realized it was the best, but I didn't buy it myself.
It was the last Halo game that I really played a lot of, I think. And Reach, I think I got it for free. Paul, I remember you and I played Reach.
It came out on Games with Gold.
Yeah.
And we played a bunch. We played a bit, not a bunch, but we played Reach for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And, it was fun.
That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I just feel like I really like the maps in Halo 2. I don't know.
I'll be a bit of a nerd too, and like not a nerd, the opposite, maybe like a loser here. But I picked. I don't know why nerd and loser are opposites in this, but I actually really liked Halo 4 multiplayer. I know it wasn't Halo.
I loved it.
But it was a lot of fun. I put more hours probably in Halo 4 multiplayer than I did because it had that prestige system, because it had the loadouts. It was like Call of Duty, but it was Halo, and I liked Halo more than I liked COD. I would play SWAT on Halo 4. It felt like COD. You had a DMR. It felt like COD. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I really liked having my loadout. I appreciate that the other Halo games are better Halo games, and they're great in their own right. But Halo 4 was a weird outlier that I thought was really fun to at least play that one time. Like that during that year, I had a lot of fun with it.
Halo 4 SWAT to this day is still my favorite SWAT. Like in any Halo game, it's so good. It's crisp.
And the maps are so good for it too. It was killer.
Not to go completely off the tangent here. Look, I know Halo 4 is kind of a shit game. The story is not all there, and the music was kind of bad. But how the hell did they make that game look so fucking good on the Xbox 360?
Crazy good on 360. Yeah, the lighting effects, it was nuts.
I didn't even realize it was a 360 game, actually.
Yeah. Like it even looks good today. And like
2012.
Damn, okay.
Insane.
Yeah.
All right, let's end this episode with a special shout out. Each panelist is going to give a special shout out to any video game character of their choice and provide a quick reason why this lucky character is getting this attention. I'll give mine first to give an example to the other panelists since we haven't done this one yet. A special shout out to Luigi because I have an affinity for the tall ones out there.
They're taking down OnlyFans in October, Matt, just so you know, in case you're subscribed to any Luigi.
True.
Paul, your shout out.
Oh man, you put me on the spot here because I put you. I guess I see how it is. Special shout out to Conquer.
Ooh.
I hope tomorrow is a good fur day.
Oh, nice. I like it. Mike, a special shout out from you.
Mine's a little bit longer, but
it's all right.
Mike's got like an essay.
I have a special shout out to this character called Hassan, and I don't mean that Hassan. It's a different Hassan. He is
a character
who starved to death in my current playthrough of Oxygen Not Included. He's my only character death. It was entirely my fault for forgetting to cook food for the colony. He didn't deserve to fall over dead while building the sleeping quarters. He's lost and already replaced, but he won't be forgotten because his dead body is laying in front of the dormitory.
Oh, that is beautiful. So sad, but so
none
beautiful.
of my colonists want to move it.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them for that one.
I don't have a graveyard built, so he's
where are they going to move him? Do you have a freezer?
No, I have a refrigerator, but that's full of food. So
Well,
I mean, so is the sun.
well, not anymore.
Well, I mean, for some other people.
Josh, your special shout out.
I thought this was going to be a real serious moment, and I should have known better, but I had another answer lined up just in case. I gotta give it to the news reporter lady that you can bang in Mass Effect 3 because she's got big old mommy milkers.
Oh my God.
Isn't it Jessica Chobot plays her or something? I don't remember.
I have no clue.
I don't know.
Booba.
I was waiting for Jack. I was waiting for Jack from Jack
Well,
and Daxter over here from you.
Check out the news reporter on OnlyFans while you still can. All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Game Groofs podcast, the all-encompassing gaming podcast from the Goodnight Groofs. If you really like the show, we encourage you to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/goodnightgroofs, where we currently have 3 different tiers available. Any and all support. I was
going to say 3 Patreons. I was going to get really excited.
Any and all support is greatly appreciated, and it will go a long way in improving all of us here at the Goodnight Groofs. The $3 plus tier will get you access to the show, this very show, 2 days early. And another special shout out now to all of our patrons currently supporting us in the $5 plus tier. Ishmael S. and Rachel S. A round of applause, please.
You made it, Rachel.
We also ask that you take a couple minutes to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or leave a like and a comment on the YouTube video. Everything helps. Make sure to check out goodnightgroofs.com for all of our content, where you'll find the blog, GG Replay, this podcast, and more coming soon. Guys, any last thoughts?
Spade and neuter your pets.
That'll do it for us here today, gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. Take care, everyone.
Good night, Groofs.
Goodbye.